Study devotee. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory Srila Prabhupada. I hope you all are well. Welcome you all to His Only Chandramauli Maharaj's daily call. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Thank you so much everyone for joining. Today's verse is Shrimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter number 10 and verse number 25. And the name of the chapter is Bhagavatam is the answer to all the questions. Maharaj, if you're ready, I'm just going to share the screen now. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mute, come out of YouTube. Just give me a second. I will come out of YouTube, otherwise it won't let me. Yeah, now I'm there. Sharing my screen now. Over to you, Maharaj.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Gatim Jigasatam Prado Ruhate Bikik Bika Bikam Padmya Yagna Swayam Bhavyam Karma Bikriyatan Nirbihi. Thereupon, because of his desiring to control movement, his legs became manifest, and from the legs, the controlling deity Vishnu was generated. By his personal supervision of the sack, all varieties of human beings are busily engaged in dutiful occupational sacrifice. Purport. Every human being is engaged in a particular occupational duty, and such activities are visible as men go hither and thither. This is very prominently visible in big cities of the world. People are going all over the cities with great concern from one place to another. This movement is not limited only to cities, but also visible outside cities, from one place to another, from one city to another, by different means of vehicles. Men are moving by cars and rails on the road, by subways within the earth, and by planes in the sky for the purpose of business success. But in all these movements, the real purpose is to earn wealth for comfortable life. For this comfortable life, the scientist is engaged, the artist is engaged, the engineer is engaged, the technician is engaged, all in different branches of human activity. But they do not know how to make the activity purposeful to fulfill the mission of human life. Because they do not know this secret, all their activities are targeted towards the goal of sense gratification without control. And therefore, by all this business, they are unknowingly entering into deep regions of darkness. Because they have been captivated by the external energy of the Supreme Lord, they have completely forgotten the Supreme Lord Vishnu, and thus they have taken it for granted that this life, as presently manifested under the conditions of material nature, is all in all for enjoying the highest amount of sense gratification. But such a wrong conception of life cannot give anyone the desired peace of mind, and thus, in spite of all advancement in knowledge by the use of resources of nature, no one is happy in this material civilization. The secret is that at every step they should try to exercise sacrifice towards the path of world peace. The Bhagavad Gita 18:45 and 6 also advises the same secret in the following verses. Sway sway karmana abritam samsiddhi lapatam naraha swakarma niratam siddhim yata vitadi tatschanu yata pravitya bhutanam yeya sarvanidam tata sakarmana tad avyarcha siddham vidadi madavaha. The Lord said to Arjuna, just hear from me how one can attain the highest perfection in life simply by discharging his specified occupational duty. Man can attain the highest perfection of life by worshiping the Supreme Lord and by performing sacrifice for the sake of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, who is all-pervading and by whose control every living being acquires his desires, facilities according to his personal propensities. There is no harm in having different propensities in life because every human being is proportionally independent to chalk out the plan of his life by different occupations. But one should make it a point in his life to know perfectly well that he is not independently absolute. One is certainly under the control of the Supreme Lord under different agencies. Knowing this, one should make it a point that by his work and at the result of his labor, he serves the Supreme Lord as prescribed by the authorities expert in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. By performing such occupational duties of life, the leg is the most important instrument of the body because without the help of the legs, one cannot move from one place to another. And therefore, the Lord has special control over the legs of all human beings, which are meant for performing yajnas. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksun Malitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Tadati Swapadatikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadikamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vidham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavane Suri Rikabanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Paevacha Titanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. So men, civilization, the world in general, and people are very busy, working day and night, moving here and there, applying different types of intelligence in order to fulfill certain desires, to achieve something by their efforts and work. But they are missing the main point, that they are always under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, they are required to do sacrifice, yajna, for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that means one should at least dedicate their activities to the service of the Lord. Because without the Lord, there is no existence, there is no activities, there is no life itself. Everything centers around the Lord. What people are making sacrifice, but they're sacrificing in order to fulfill certain selfish needs, such as to enjoy some type of sense gratification, even either immediate or extended. And by doing that, they simply stay busy, working, moving. It's a big arrangement. What's the result? Sense gratification. That's the whole business. It's all sense gratification. And therefore, as it says in the Bhagavad Gita, well, is that verse from the 5th chapter? That by the sense gratification, one cannot actually fulfill one's needs. It leads one to various types of suffering. Sense gratification is not the goal of life. Sense satisfaction is, but the senses can never be satisfied by the object of the senses. And by trying to satisfy the senses by the objects of the senses, one continues to work hard in that direction, never getting satisfied. Just working, struggling, acting, making big plans, but what's the result? The same thing that the animals do: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, or maybe higher forms of sense gratification, such as, getting some position in the world, some acclaim for one's activities, something or some artistic expression in order to get, again, acclaim for sense gratification. So all the activities are simply gauged for sense gratification. Yehi sparsa dija boga, dukkha yonaya evate, avantavante kunte, anateshu ramate buha. The Bhagavad Gita warns that sense gratification simply leads to suffering. That's all. But we have the senses, and the senses must be used. So the senses have to be used in the source of the purpose who created the senses, and that is Rishikesh. Therefore, Krishna is called Rishikesh, or the master of the senses. When the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, then the senses become purified, they become satisfied, and the results are never what we say suffering, but elevation to a higher standard of human life. But as it says here, big arrangements for what? For sense gratification. It's like sometimes you see in the morning the sky is full of clouds and there's thunder, but no rain. No rain. So big of arrangements, but no results. So in the same way, the living entity makes big arrangements. Once the results, let me satisfy my senses, or let me satisfy the senses of those that I am connected with, my family members, friends, and others. So it's all about sense gratification. But senses cannot be stopped. They have to be used in the proper way. And if you use your occupational duties in the service of the Lord, then those occupational duties will elevate you to a nice position in this material world. And at the same time, you become free from suffering that comes by way of struggling with the three modes of material nature. So therefore, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that he Chaturvanam Vanasrista Guna Karma Vibhagasaha. I've created four types of people. These the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, and the Sudras. And these four types of people, this quality is innate in the physical bodies of different types of living entities, different human forms. And some people have Brahminical tendencies, some people have tendencies to govern and to protect. Others want to work on the land and produce, and others will do anything they can do in order to assist the three higher classes. Now, this is the actual balance. So Srila Prabhupada was explaining that we want to establish what is called Daivi Varnashram, that activity that is according to one's nature, but it is engaged in the service of the Lord. And that will elevate, that will organize society both in the material sense and in the spiritual sense. We are not interested in material Varnashram because material Varnashram is upside down. Nobody knows who they are, how they work, because their only motivation is sense gratification or economic gain. And therefore, that is not the purpose. Purpose is to work accordingly and serve the Lord. And that way you can fulfill your needs on the material level, at the same time, elevate yourself on the spiritual platform. According to one of the ashrams, they are in either brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, or sannyas. So this Daivi Varnashram is actually the standard for organizing human society. And people can use their occupational duties. As Prabhupada says, you don't have to give them up. Just use them in the service of the Lord, and also practice some aspect of spiritual life. In other words, serve the Lord in some capacity or other. And that's preliminary. When one gets fixed in the occupational duties, then they start to realize that they can actually make greater advancement by worshiping the Lord in devotion, and they come to the platform of Bhakti Yoga. So this is the process and otherwise people will simply, the world will go on, and there'll be wars, there'll be pestilence, there'll be strifes on many levels. There's strifes on family levels, individual levels, social levels, community levels, national levels, international levels. Everyone is striving. They want to get rid of strife, and they create some organizations to make some plan to do that. But their organizations only perpetuate the same thing they're trying to solve. They, at the end of the World War II and in 1940s, they wanted to create what is called the United Nations. So they did. They made this plan to bring all of the nations together to meet. But what do you now? You have the United Nations, and Prabhupada says, what is the benefit? Their flags are only increasing. Everyone has their own national interest, and wars go on, strife goes on, nothing changes. In fact, it gets only worse because they miss the point. The point is that the foundation for all existence is Krishna. He is the mula, he's the root. And while without organizing ourselves around service to the Lord, we will continually try to organize ourselves in an unorganized way. If you're standing by a body of water and you throw a rock into the water, it'll make some circles that will be concentric and will go outward. And if you throw another rock in the same place, the centric circles will again be very organized and concentric. But if you throw in different places, the circles will start to clash, and then you have, just a chaotic pattern. So in the same way, nobody is situated together for their individual interests. They try to unite, but what is their unity? There is simply more strife because they missed the point that without service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they'll continue to go on with their attempts to find peace and happiness in this world in the most futile way. And they'll continue to come up with newer and better plans. At least that's what they think. Now they want to downsize the population in the workforce by replacing them with machines. They think that the machines are more efficient than humans, and therefore they can actually organize things more effectively and efficiently. And then they just create a society where people have no occupation. And then when you have people who are unemployed, what do you have? You have more and more crime, more and more strife, civil disobedience, so many problems. Devils, the idle mind is a devil's workshop. So now their biggest plan is to replace people with machines. And they're doing it. And there's big programs that are in place now to gradually do this in a very systematic way in different areas of the world. And it's going on. And this will only create more and more problems. Machines are not meant to replace human beings. Machines can be used by humans and not replace humans. But this is their program because they can't organize on a human level. So they think, well, it's better to work with machines. At least they're more cooperative. And they're more efficient also. That's how they see things. So the world is pretty topsy-turvy now because they keep missing the same point, service to the Supreme Lord. As long as they don't place that anywhere within the focus of human activities, the world will go on in its crazy, chaotic way and become worse and worse in terms of people's ability to find any kind of happiness and peace in this world. It'll simply be a struggle to survive, a struggle to carry on whatever one has established. But because they are ignorant of the goal of life, they remain in this, what we say, fool's paradise. But devotees, they know that by serving Krishna, that Krishna is the source of everything, that Krishna is pleased by our service, that he provides everything we need. So if everyone would organize around service to Krishna, and then everyone can fulfill their desires for happiness in this world, and at the same time make progress towards the goal of life, which is to awaken one's loving relationship with the Supreme. But so the devotees are in the ideal position because they know how to live life. You can't push God out and expect to find any kind of happiness in this world. It's not possible because God is everywhere. He's within everything. He's the source of everything. He maintains everything. And according to the time factor, he also destroys everything. Everything is controlled and owned by the Lord. Ishavasham idam sarvam yat kijat jagam jagat. He controls and owns everything. And therefore, to acknowledge his proprietorship and his superior position in our relationship with him is actually intelligence and the goal of human life. The devotees, they're fine. Even though the world may go on in a chaotic way, they will not be affected unless they start to plug in to the world's activities and become part of it. And then they will also find themselves having to subject themselves to the movements of the external energy also. But if the devotees stay together in service to the Lord and service to each other, which supports each other in our practice of devotional service, then we will always have everything we need on the material level to live, and we will always be happy and engaged in the goal of life, and then gradually start to free ourselves from all of the problems that we have been subjected to in this world, along with our own karma, and then gradually come to the stage of Prema Pumarta Mahan, loving service to the Supreme Lord, which is the actual uh, nature of the living entity. To love God or to serve God is natural, and to not serve God is unnatural. To love material things is unnatural because material things cannot satisfy anyone. Okay, so we can stop there and open it up for discussion.
So much, Maharaj, for a very nice explanation. Devotees, if you have any questions, comments, realizations, please unmute yourself and ask. And if you
Rashida,
can't,
yeah, Rashida Chaitanya, yes. Yeah, turn
yeah.
on your cameras also. It'd be nice to see who you are. We know what you look like, but remind us. Flashing on the camera there. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Here, let's see. We got a few more.
Kisega.
Zamrita, I know you can do it. Garangi Priya, she's always happy to present herself. Hima Ganga, come on. Who else is there? Gauri Priya, Shiva Kumara.
Maharaj, I think they like when you take their name. So this is why they wait for you to tell them. Prasida Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances in your lotus feet. Guru
Hmm.
Maharaj, we are very much clear that in this material world we are suffering, and we will suffer in this material world if we would not engage our senses in devotional services, and by which we can get a real happiness actually. And how can we develop the mood of the service, because in a current scenario, from the last I want to give my example. From the last 10 to 15 days, we have started Bhagavad Gita distribution in a different area of Ujjain. When I came back to office, that time I feel very lazy, and when I reach there, then I feel very happy with the devotion, along with my colleague and my people. I will feel very happy. But that time when I came to home from the office, that time I feel very lazy. So how can I develop my tendency of service?
Well, because you're feeling like that shows you're making advancement in devotional service. It is natural that as we gain our connection with Krishna, our enthusiasm for devotional service increases, and we lose our taste or even our, what we say, determination to do anything on the material platform. This is natural. And it's indication that you're actually making nice advancement. So, um, so you want to somehow or other become unlazy in material life and happy in spiritual life.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
So you know what I told you when I was with you. I don't want to get into your personal. I mentioned that when we were together. But you can think about what I talked about when we were, and there's devotees who are doing it. They're pulling back from their material activities and working within the context of devotional life, where they work with devotees, they have businesses, they have activities, they serve the temple, they serve the Vaishnavas, and they're also getting whatever they need on an economic level in order to maintain their family life, you might say. So this is Srila Prabhupada's program to pull back from our dependence on the external energy and to become fully dependent on Krishna and work within that context. And Krishna consciousness includes all of the activities that the materialists have also. We can be scientists, we can be mechanics, we can be IT operators, we can be librarians, we can do any of the other services that are being done, but within the confines of devotional circles. And that way, this is called Varnashram Dharma, working according to your nature and serving the Lord with your propensities to work. And you'll still be able to maintain yourself. Krishna takes care of his devotees who surrender. I always tell the story how Lord Chaitanya challenged Srivas Thakur, why you're not working? You got a big family. Srivas Thakur said, if the Lord doesn't maintain me, then automatically I'd jump in a river and drown myself. The Lord was so happy because he knew, Srivas Thakur knew that by serving the Lord would take care of him and his family also. But we don't have that faith. That's our problem. We don't have that faith because we are still thinking that it's me who is doing everything. It's not Krishna. I'm the doer, and therefore I have to do it according to my way. We don't have faith in Krishna. We think he can't take care of us. He's taking care. Prabhupada said, the elephants in the jungles, they eat 40 kgs of food every day, and they're not working. They're not working at all. But who's giving them 40 kgs of food? That's a lot. That's 100 pounds of food a day. And they eat, and they're being maintained by the same person who's maintaining everybody, the Supreme Lord. Aham bija pita pita. I'm the seed-giving father and maintainer of all living entities. So we don't think if I serve Krishna, he won't take care of me. This is foolish. But if you want to go another route and stay where you are, then turn your work into an opportunity to preach to your colleagues, and use your work service as a opportunity to preach and bring people into Krishna consciousness from your occupational platform. You can do that also, and you can still stay where you are. But if you just become one of the workers in a job, then you'll be lazy. You won't be enthusiastic.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Choice. When we see something is not right, we have to adjust. Okay, Krishna Kaviraj.
Thank you. Please accept my humble obeisances, Guru Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you. Right, in the reading of the verse, we heard that the Lord takes control of our legs. Is this what we see when devotees are dancing with devotion? Is the Lord taking over their legs then?
It's taking over your mind and your legs are automatically working. The mind is the king of the senses, and the mind is engaged in devotional service. All of the other senses follow.
And that happens in any aspect of devotional service.
Yeah. Krishna is the enchanter of the mind. He's called Manohara, one who enchants the mind.
Wow, that's really beautiful.
Kirtan is the way to attract the mind in a complete way. Your arms are raised, your feet are dancing, your legs are connected to your feet.
Wow.
The rest of you are all moving in the way of the sound of the transcendental glorification of the Lord. And then you're in another world. And then when you stop, then you're back in the other world again. So we have to connect activities of devotional service in an organized way, that when we finish one devotional activity, we move into another one. There's no break in our devotional activities.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. That inspiring answer.
Yeah, we've all experienced it to some degree. No question about that. Everybody has experienced it. Amrita Nam.
Hare Krishna Gurudev. Please accept my humble obeisances, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. So Guru Maharaj, I have a concern actually, and along with a comment, not exactly a question, but you mentioned about the loss of labor, of human labor in the world because of the machines. So the gigantic demon this in this age, in this present time, is AI. And I was just wondering, my concern is, I'm observing that also, that in the society, in the Krishna conscious society, the usage of AI is quite increasing. I didn't saw it increasing.
What is increasing?
The usage of AI.
Yeah, it's going to continue. There are some very important people who have very big plans for, expediting AI into every area of society, even in government. They're thinking of sacking many of the government workers and replacing it with AI activities. So a few people will run the machines and the rest of people will be out of work.
The usage of AI
It's
in
already
our
it's happening. The United States is really moving in that way. It's also spreading in different areas around the world.
my concern, Guru Maharaj, is as you have already told us that possibly you should not use AI if possible, because what makes sense was it is anyways eradicating the human labor. So we need to engage the living entities more into the service of the Lord. Instead, it is just cutting off that thing. So definitely, yes, this is not recommended. But I see many of the senior devotees, they are also not making us aware. I mean, in the society, they are not making devotees aware that this is not an ideal way, or they're there instead. If I try to question some of them, they say that if you're using AI in the service of the Lord, they say it's okay.
But AI is not perfect either. Because just by the word itself, it's intelligence that's artificial. It means it's not real intelligence. They can program something to come out with certain answers to certain questions, but AI can't contemplate about things, and you know, it can't interact. It just goes one way. Of course, now they even have AIs playing. They have robots playing guitars. So what's happening to the human culture? It's being pushed to the back. This is a demoniac program. It's just by the demons. It's not by people who are well-wishers of human society. These are the demons. This is a demoniac program to enslave the world through robots. That's all. And this is I mean, I'll speak about this in public and I'm not afraid. I mean, we played some games with GPT chat. You know, that's another form of AI. And I asked about myself, and it gave me an answer about myself. And 50% of it was right, and 50% of it was wrong. One other senior devotee who was with me, he also did it. They said about him was more 70% right, like that. So you know, it's crazy. But they're trying to perfect it where they can get you'll never get a perfect situation, because ultimately machines can't think like humans, where humans can think, reject, accept, and reject. They're trying to do that. They're trying to pattern the human brain after, they're trying to make machines just like the human brain. They're coming close, but they'll never be perfect. But they're not worried about being perfect. They just want to replace, and that way they'll make more profit. You don't have to pay workers, and you can get the same job done through machines.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Another
danger.
It's a program. Yeah.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, please go ahead.
Yeah, it's a program by the demons. No question about it. Some devotees also think it's good, because just like I was talking to one professor, he's a devotee, and he's a professor in a university. So when he gives tests, you know, they have some preconceived ideas what's going to be on the test, so they go to AI and get the answers. Yeah.
Guru Maharaj, another dangerous aspect is there, even although AI is not perfect and it's not going to be perfect, they are even trying to be emotionally dependent on AI. As AI is getting developed and stronger day by day, I see in the Karmi's world, they are trying to get dependent emotionally with the AI. So this is like a real dangerous thing.
It'll collapse eventually, but right now it's growing.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Because if they push too many people out of work, people will organize and protest. And then you'll have civil disobedience. And then civil disobedience will result in people trying to suppress the civil disobedience. And then there'll be riots. There'll be strife everywhere. There'll be violence in the streets. And it's leading to that too. Or people's occupational duty, they can't work anymore. But they want
Yes,
that.
Guru
They
Maharaj.
want to create strife so they can eliminate the population. This is part of their program. They said the Malthusian theory, Thomas Malthus, Prabhupada talks about him. He was a British economist back in the 1800s. He says there's too many people in the world, and in order to keep a balance, you have to have war, you have to have pestilence and disease regularly to keep the population at a certain level. Well, that's their big problem. That's their thing, to reduce the population. So they're trying to collapse the economic system in America now. People are struggling in America. Everything is going haywire. They want to collapse the whole economic system in America and rebuild it in a different way. We're working towards that right now. So people are wondering why things are going wrong, because it's purposely being done to restructure everything. Yeah. None of this happens by accident. It's not by some providence it's happening. It's man-made. Anyway, we don't have anything to worry. That's why I keep emphasizing to devotees, get these farms together, get out of the cities, get into self-sufficient programs, and take care of your own needs in an atmosphere of devotional communities. Grow your own food, make your own cloth, build your own houses, create your own systems of heating, which can be done by extracting energy from the earth. Everything is there. The earth has provided everything. This Western civilization is only 350 years old. Before then, how did people live?
Yes, Gurudev. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Amritanam Mataji. Shridevi Mataji, please go ahead.
Yeah, back to the land.
Thank you, Satyabama. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. You partially answered my question when I was just going to say, what about the people who are thrown out? They're going to rebel. There's going to be food wars. There's going to be riots. There's going to be revolutions. And then the systems will clamp down even more on the common people. And it's just going to be an escalating situation where bloodshed, violence, wars, etc. So is this also a planned, just like the pandemic? Is this is being planned to eliminate people?
Yeah, this is it. Prabhupada talks about it in Bhagavatam, and he also mentions that there are two types of people in the world. You go to Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, I think it's, what is it, verse number, start with 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, divine and demoniac nature. And so you keep going down. Don't go, stop. Okay, verse number 6. Yeah. Go back. Quit jumping around. Dai Bhuta Sarga Lokesmin Daiva Asur Evacha Daivo Vistarna Samprota Asura Partha Me Srinu. Krishna speaking, O son of Partha, in this world there are two kinds of creative beings. One is divine and the other demoniac. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac. And then Krishna goes on through the whole chapter. And go to verse number 11 or 13, I think. And then you get an insight of the consciousness of the, and I'll take it in, take verse 11 and 12. This is the demoniac. Krishna speaking now. This is Krishna. They believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of life. Thus, until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable, bound by a network of hundreds and thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger. They secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. Go to the next two verses, three verses, actually. Here's the verse. The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I'll gain more according to my scheme. So much is mine now and will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy and I have killed him. My other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifice. I shall give some charity, and thus I rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. So Krishna tells you how the demons think. They're always trying to get more power, more control, more wealth. That's their program. They simply cause trouble everywhere in the world. And they're there. You can't see them, but you can understand by the way the world is going. It's run by the demons. Verse number 16 also enhances the whole point again. Thus, perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusion, they become strongly attached to sense enjoyment. And the demonic man knows no limit to his desire to acquire money. That they think how much assets they have and how much schemes they can have to get more and more wealth. This is the demons. And they're there. There's a race of people called the demoniac. They're not created, they're born in that way. They have their own planets outside of the earth, but they also come into the earth according to the karma of the earth. When the karma of the earth goes down, then the demoniac people start to take birth in the earth's planet also, because karma is all over the universe, not relegated to one planet. So as the karma of the earth goes up, more divine people take birth. As the karma of the earth goes down, more demoniac people come. So yeah, you'll see that. So it's not some kind of creation. Demons are not created. They're actually born like that. And they have, these tendencies like that. There's people who become demoniac because they're influenced by these people. And that's another thing. But there are rakshasas, yakshas, jinns, so many categories of demoniac beings. Some of them don't even have gross bodies, but they take forms. Just like during the earthquakes we had in Slovenia and Croatia, devotees were seeing these demons come out of the earth. Devotees have told me they've seen them directly. They have fiery bodies with no physical body. So you don't live in illusion. Bhagavatam tells you as it is. This is the material world. So don't get into this illusion that everything will be all right in time. As long as the demons are there, it'll continue to go. The Lord Chaitanya's movement is to push back this demoniac influence and to make everybody God conscious through the Harinam Sankirtan movement. So that's our business, to spread the Sankirtan movement everywhere through transcendental knowledge and through the holy names of Krishna. These two forces, through transcendental knowledge and through Harinam Sankirtan, can push back the influence of the demoniac population. That's why Lord Chaitanya came in this age, to bring about a revolution in the minds of people by bringing about a Satya Yuga in the midst of Kali Yuga. And that Satya Yuga is started when Lord Chaitanya appeared in 1486, and has gradually been growing ever since. And there have been many great personalities who have been pushed it forward, and Srila Prabhupada was one of the major ones who really pushed it forward by spreading the Harinam Sankirtan all over the world. And now we're situated everywhere in the world where Harinam Sankirtan is going on in some way or another. But still, the demons are there, and they have control of people's lives through different agencies. They work through the news agencies, they work through the entertainment agencies, they work through the social agencies, they even try to work within religious organizations to influence people also. They're everywhere. There was one person from a very powerful family. He was a powerful politician. When he died, they wouldn't let anybody see his body, because he attained his hideous demoniac form after he died. Yeah. That's recorded. So yeah, the demons can change their forms also. Many of them are mystical. These are real demons. People who come from other planets. But you don't have anything to worry about. Prabhupada said, Krishna will protect you, but you have to chant the holy names and work together as an organization to spread Krishna consciousness. They can't stop this movement. They try to stop it, but they can't.
So, because we are very small, we are so tiny on the individual level, if all we can do is come together, chant the holy names, maintain the four regulative principles, follow our initiation vows, engage in a little service, is that sufficient at the individual level to contribute to this movement, Guru Maharaj?
But the Prabhupada has given us a social program for organization. And then he emphasized that build these communities, Krishna conscious communities, get out of the cities. Otherwise, you'll be subjected to the influence of the material energy and be controlled by that same energy. Then you can only marginalize your Krishna consciousness. You can do something and you'll still be protected, but still you'll have to struggle just to live in this. Prabhupada talks about when he first came to America, right after, just about 11 days after Prabhupada came, there was a total blackout in New York. For days, there was no electricity. The whole city of New York was blacked out. Prabhupada said, I simply went into my room and I was chanting Hare Krishna the whole time. And the statistics show that during that blackout, the population grew tremendously. Because what do people do in the dark? Hare Krishna. Prabhupada talks about all of this stuff. If you listen to his lectures, we don't listen to his lectures, so we're different. We don't understand the details. Prabhupada spoke a lot about how the world is going, and he wanted us to become self-sufficient. That's the point. As a society, and teach the rest of the society who are not influenced, who are not attracted to the demoniac society, to also adopt these same principles. Back to the land. It doesn't mean you have to be farmers. You can keep your occupation, but you have a series of occupations all working together in a unified form to provide everything people need on all levels. You still have your engineers, you still have your carpenters, you still have your cooks, you still have your artists, you still have all of the activities that normally, but you work within the confines of Krishna consciousness. And you can interact with the external energy, but we don't depend on them for our livelihood. That's the point. When you become dependent on him, just like this, if this AI comes in and you have a job, you might be outside of your job all of a sudden. Then you have to think, can I get another job? Or should I become more Krishna conscious and not worry about jobs anymore?
So, Guru Maharaj, now we can see that, many of the disciples of different gurus, they've taken up this aspect of our Krishna conscious movement, Varnashram, farm communities. We have Govardhan Eco Village. We have, different projects like that. So is it that these projects will then help and contribute by sending produce to the cities, so city temples can survive and, have restaurants with cow products, etc. And that way there's a symbiosis, or what should I say? There's a cooperation between the city temples and the farm communities.
Srila Prabhupada said that. He said, for every city temple, there should be a farm community, which will provide all of the food and milk products needed for the city temples. The city temples can open restaurants, prepare nice food, and also cook every day and invite people to come and distribute nice Krishna prasadam, and people will become attracted to our movement by the quality of this prasadam coming from our own farms, which means grown in a devotional atmosphere, free from all of the contamination that the farmers use, pesticides, herbicides, and various artificial means for cultivating ground and for growing crops. Yeah, so yeah, Prabhupada talked about that. Every farm, he said, we still can have our city temples, but the farms will be where the grihastas live. We have schools for kids. We have everything that is needed for a family life within the environment that is providing everything we need. But that's a project. It takes people who are committed. It takes planning. It takes some development. It takes time to do it. But here we are. I'm in Govardhan Eco Village. All I look out the window, all I see is trees, crops, growing trees. I see cows. That's all I see. There's no cars here. If you have to get around in the community, they have these golf carts, gigantic golf carts. You just call anywhere you are, and the golf cart comes and picks you and takes you to any part of the community you want. Cars come into the community and park on the outside. They don't go, they're not allowed inside the community at all. No pollution. And then inside the community, it's a whole transcendental atmosphere of Krishna consciousness, temples, dioramas of Krishna and his different leelas. We even have 2 restaurants here. People can get transcendental, all of the regular food that they're normally like to take. Everything is here. The buildings are made ecologically sound. That means in the wintertime, it's warm inside. In the summertime, it's cool inside. Everything is done by Vastu.
Very intelligently planned.
Yeah, and it's expanding now. If you go around the community now, you'll see at least 4 or 5 different construction projects going on. They're building more places for the cows. Cows need more room because the cows are increasing. They have a whole place for the pens. They have animal sanctuary. They have a place where kids can play. And they have a little playground for kids. And there's a restaurant. There's a swimming pool. There's an Ayurvedic center. And there's classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, study groups. There's yoga groups. Everything is there. There's recycle plants to recycle waste and to again bring it back to usable form. It's an amazing project. And that's just not, there's other projects that are moving in the same direction. In Italy, there's a farm community developing. In Hungary, under Shivaram Maharaj, that is developing nicely. They're practically self-sufficient. No, we have electricity here, but in New Rajadam, they don't use electricity, they use solar power. The solar panels they pull in energy all through the day, and then you have electricity, then you turn on your switch at night and you have electricity throughout the whole night and in the early morning hours, enough to last for a couple of days, and it's always being regenerated by the sunshine. I mean, God has provided everything, and then there's methane gas that you can use for cooking, for heating. You don't need to, plug into your local gas system in the town that you live in. You pay exorbitant prices for heating and for fuel. Paper money's losing its value anyway. Everything is getting devaluated. Spending power is becoming less and less. So anyway, Prabhupada, he told us, get it together. This is going to happen. Western society will not last.
Yes,
So
Guru Maharaj.
you don't have to, now when the class is over, you don't have to jump on and put your overalls on and start going out in your garden. But you should think and work with persons, get together and discuss how you can start something or how you can be a part of something that's already started, either way. In Charlotte, North Carolina, they got some land. We're going to develop that also. In Columbus, Ohio, they have a lot of land. They're building a temple, and they'll be building buildings for devotees on the land also. So many places are moving in that direction. The warning signs are there. Either we do it or we're going to be forced to do it. I'm not a doomsday prophet. I'm just repeating what I hear from Srila Prabhupada and from the authorities in these different areas.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Devi Mataji. Maharaj, there is a question from Rajmandal Prabhu. He's asking that, can the demonic individual walk among devotees?
Yeah, they can. And you wouldn't even know they're demoniac. One of the biggest programs of demons is deception. They're very good at deceiving. They're expert. They present themselves in one way. Yeah, they're ready. That's another aspect of this discussion, which I won't go into because it's too fragile right now to talk about it. But yeah, they're in all aspects of society. Prabhupada even said it. He said, Maya, we have no fear of Maya. She's our friend. She works to help the devotee become more Krishna conscious. But because there's demons in the world, Maya has to serve the demons, and therefore there are so many problems. That's a direct quote from Srila Prabhupada. we're seeing it. It's happening right around us, and we're being affected it in a slight way. But then again, if it continues in the same direction and there's any indication it's going to change, and then pretty soon you find yourself struggling just to get food. People all over the United States are stocking food like crazy and water too. They're expecting a huge collapse. I mean, I have videos of what's going on. You don't see it. People they're coming up with their own solutions how to produce water that is more natural and not depend on the water systems that come from the water companies. There's a whole movement amongst the materialists to prepare for a collapse. There's even books about that. One is called 72 Hours. What are you going to do when everything? And they did a demonstration collapse. They did an actual collapse just to see how it would work. That happened in April. Maybe some of you from the UK were also affected by that. Some devotees went to Spain and Portugal in April for vacation and got stranded there. When the whole grid went out, all the planes stopped, electrical stopped, nothing was working. It went on for, I don't know, a couple of days. And people were just huddling up, freezing. This was in April. But that was planned just to see how it would work and see how people would react to it. That was a planned collapse. They did a demonstration. I have that on video. The people who were in it are talking about it and how they suffered with no food, shortage of clothing. People were filling up the airports, just sitting in the airports, waiting for things to come back. I don't know how long it went on for. It went on for days before actually it started to everything started to come back. But that was planned just to see. They did a trial run to see how it would work.
Guru Maharaj.
That was in April of this year. I think some devotees also got stuck in that thing.
Gurudev, just to relay on what you were saying and my question, Srila Prabhupada predicted 50 years that would happen. Was that last year? Or was that year before that 50-year expired or came to fruition?
Prabhupada said within 50 years. He said it in 1973. So
Right.
that would be 2023.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, things are starting to collapse. You're in the UK, you know better than anybody. You can see it all around you.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, definitely.
The UK is going through crisis after crisis on an individual level.
I was aware of it. Like I remember when I came to the retreat in Lincolnshire, you were advocating this particular point, and I was really aware of it. And then when it sort of happened, I could see it in UK that okay, this is sort of happening, and then it sort of was coming on the news. Everyone was breaking apart, and just America was freaking out. The world just started collapsing. You could actually see it. So Srila Prabhupada's prediction was spot on.
Yeah, the demons do test runs just to see how they can do it. They collapse things and they see how people react. Because if you understand, the demons have built underground cities. There are cities that are underground, and then when everything goes, they can go under these underground cities and survive. There are roadways underground. There are buildings underground. There are food supplies, everything. They have everything they need to survive. And a lot of it's underground. And people know about these things too. It's not something hidden. Anyway, don't worry. Prabhupada said, don't worry, Krishna will protect you. But still, he gave us a social solution. get away from dependence on the Western society. Aside from that, the fact that Krishna will protect the devotees, he's also said we need to become self-sufficient. We need to become independent of the dependence of the society. You can't do that 100%, but we can do it at least mostly for all the basic needs: food, water, shelter, heat, medical care, education. All can be developed independent. And then we have our temples, and devotees can worship. If we have to worry about maintaining our families and our individual, how much time can we spend for Krishna consciousness? We struggle just to survive the changing of the external energy. It's changing. Anybody in the UK knows they're just throwing taxes at the residents in UK at one after another. So many taxes. There's a tax for everything now. Right, Satyabhama?
Vrindavan Dham manages the accounts, Maharaj, so I don't know.
You're aloof from all of this. But devotees are protected, but still we shouldn't somehow or other take advantage of that and just go on in the same way and expect if things are going to get better on the material level. Forget that. Forget that. The only thing that'll get better is Krishna consciousness will spread. That's the only thing that'll get better. There's nobody has any solutions in the material world for making anything better. All they're doing is trying to group amongst their own groups and try to survive and make a profit within their own communities, their own nations, like that. Yeah, we're in a pretty turbulent time materially, but spiritually it's also a very good time.
Guru Maharaj, just quickly on that particular point you've just mentioned, and on the collapse of the world as we know it, so to speak, we can assume that that collapse will happen on a catastrophic level. And this is where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement will start to flourish and actually grow, because there won't be much left.
Yeah. Prabhupada said the next war will be between demons and demons. And then there'll be a lot of demons will be eliminated and Krishna consciousness will be spreading really fast. Then he said the next war out there after that will be between demons and devotees. That's from Prabhupada's statement. So yeah, devotees are not involved in anything that's going on the outside, except just depending on our personal needs. So the demons are fighting against the demons, that's all. Different classes of demons, different kinds of demons, because they can't, they're all of the same nature. They're envious, greedy, lusty, avaricious. If you don't worship God, then you have to worship Maya.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, so the collapse is happening now. It's gradual, but it's happening. But then there may be something major coming up. I can't say for sure, but it looks like it. I consulted my astrologers the other day, and asked them for the prediction of 2026. And he promises he's going to give me back some answers. Let's see. I'm not saying he's expert, but he's a devotee astrologer. Well, let's see what. And there's other people who are making predictions, but I won't repeat what they say because I can't use them as an authority. Other people are saying there's going to be a major war in March of next year. That's what some astrologers are saying. But that may or may not happen. Who knows? But the collapse is happening slowly on the economic level, on a political level also. They want to get rid of paper money and just do cryptocurrency. That's another plan. Oh, yeah. Anyway, just chant Hare Krishna, continue in your devotional service, and think about how you can maybe move forward to develop a lifestyle where you don't become dependent on the external environment for your livelihood. Many devotees that I know of, they quit their jobs and now they're just doing full-time service. They still have families and they're able to maintain their families and do devotional service full-time. So it's possible. You just have to create that environment. If the environment is not created, then you can't see how to do it. But there are devotees that are doing it. Communities that are springing up amongst devotees to support each other in their devotional service and also make enough franchise, enough equity where they can also maintain their personal needs also. But if we wanted to live like really luxurious, then you might have to just struggle unnecessarily. Okay, a little bit about the current events. I can
Any
tell
other
you
question?
something, but you're not ready to hear from what I'm about to say, so I'm not going to say anything. People are suffering health-wise. Today I just got this update from one group that sends me messages about EMF, how EMF is causing so many problems in people's lives. EMF is everywhere. It's in your phone, it's in your computer, it's in many of the electronic devices. People are getting headaches, people are getting tired, people are getting sick. A lot of it's due to EMF. They can't even connect it with EMF, but it is. EMF is electronic, what is it? Electronic magnetic frequency, electromagnetic frequencies that are put out by all of this electronic stuff that we're surrounded by. That's a big problem. If you want, I could post that thing I received today. It's statistics, and they also give you some solution how you can purchase certain things that will absorb that energy and nullify it also. People have come up with gadgets to deal with that energy. But that's a big problem. Especially if you have your Wi-Fi box in the same room that you live in. You better just take it out and put it on the roof or somewhere else. If you have it in the same room, you're in trouble. Yeah, so that EMF is really bad news. There's many court cases that they tried to stop it, but none of them were successful. That's another thing. This EMF is really bad news. If you like, I could send you that communique I received. Might be a little shocking, but anyway, you can read it.
Maybe
Please.
forward it in the conference, Maharaj, maybe.
Yes,
send-
Guru
I'll send it to Satyabhama, and then you can just connect with her if you want to hear it and read it.
Sure.
They also give a solution too, but I don't know anything about the solution. I just stay away from EMF. I don't know if I have these things. I don't know if you've seen them. I don't know if you can see this. This is you see it's a cow. And on the bottom is cow dung. That black thing is cow dung. And it has a sticky back. And I put them on my computer, I put them on my phone, and they absorb the EMF energy. Cow dung actually works to do that. We have, I have a whole bunch of them.
Where can we get one of those, Gurudev?
These we got them here in Govardhan Echo Village. They make them here for the devotees. It's cow dung. You stick it on the back of your phone. Stick 1 or 2 or 3 pieces on your phone, on your computer, and other electronic devices. I cover all of the sockets that I don't use with them. I block electrical sockets with them also. So anyway, I don't know. I guess I'll send you that thing and you can see whether you think it's important or not.
Okay, Maharaj, thank you.
Yeah,
Devotee.
one day in the near future, I think when we finish the second canto, when we finish this chapter, I want to do a whole series of 2 days on health,
Hmm.
and how devotees can improve their health. I have many insights from different sources, both on the food level, on the lifestyle level, that we can use to improve the quality of our health or maintain our health so it doesn't become jeopardized. Yeah, I've done that in the past. It's been a while since we did a program on health. But we'll do one as soon as we finish this second canto, which will be in about, this is a long chapter, there's 51 verses in this chapter. So we're on verse number 25, so there's another 25 verses to go. So maybe within the next month, we'll do this program.
That'll be very helpful, Maharaj. Very, very helpful.
Yeah, I got a lot of good feedback from the previous ones we did. Liked them.
I think that's where we all devotees, I think, likes looking after themselves.
Prabhupada really emphasized devotees take care of your health. Prabhupada did a lot of things also to maintain his health and to bring back his health also. And he signed every letter he wrote. Hope this meets you in the best of health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. That's how he signed every letter. Hope this meets you in the best of health. And he said that over and over again, take care of your health, because if you don't, it'll make it difficult in your devotional life. So we want to have good health so we can serve Krishna with full energy.
Thank you, Maharaj. That's very helpful, and we will definitely plan for
Okay,
health
so
seminars.
we can stop here, I think.
Yeah.
And maybe if devotees want, we can chant a little bit for couple rounds and
Yeah. Let me.
okay. Thank you very much for your participation in today's class, and tomorrow we'll continue with the next verse. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Hari Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Hari Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hari 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 Ram, Hari Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hari Hari Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hari 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari Hare Krishna, Hare Hari Hari Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hari Hari Hare Ram, Hari Hari Hare Krishna, Hari Hari Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hari Hari Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hari Hari Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hari Hari Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hari Hari Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hari Hari Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hari Hari Ram, Krishna, Hari Hari Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hari Hari Hare Krishna, Hare Hari Hari Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hari Hari Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hari 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hari 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Krishna Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hari 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 Ram, Krishna Hari 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 Ram, Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Ram, Krishna 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 Hari Hari Ram, Krishna Krishna Hari Bol. Hari Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram, Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram, Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Ram, Krishna 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 close. Hari Hari Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Ram, Hari 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 Ram, Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram, Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram, Krishna 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 Hari 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 Ram, Krishna 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Krishna Hari Krishna Hari Hari Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram, Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Krishna 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 Hari 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 Ram, Hari Krishna Hari 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 Ram, Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare. Take it out of the world. Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hari Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Thank you, dear devotees. Hare Krishna.